personal letters, to lose medical information that everyone else gets in their locked mailbox. We simply want to put the mail in the mailbox, as we said earlier here today. So we call on the Postal Service, just do the right thing here. Put the mail in the mailboxes and end the discriminatory mail delivery practices. Thank you, everybody. Yeah!
Sorry, it's a privilege to be here and to collaborate with you in this effort to really ensure equality in the mail treatment for San Francisco's poorest residents. The Equal Protection Clause of the Constitution requires treating like people alike, and that's the theme we're going to stress this morning. And it doesn't cost the Postal Service any more to put mail in a slot, an individual mail slot in an SRO in Tenderloin than it does to put mail in an individual slot in an apartment on Nob Hill. So, and as Tara indicated, the consequences of not getting your mail when you're living check to check can be quite severe. When the mail just disappears, whether due to loss or theft or something like that. So we're going to stress that the Constitution requires equal treatment for San Francisco's inner city neighborhoods, and that there's really no rational basis, no legitimate reason not to treat SROs equally. So we welcome your support and your prayers. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. That's Stephen Johnson. He's going to be arguing the case today in the Court of Appeal with Winston Strawn. They're our pro bono firm that is taking the representation of our case in this appeal. And Stephen flew all the way from Washington, D.C. to argue this case, so I think we should give him a big round of applause. Thank you. I just wanted to recognize the work that people in the SRO Collaborative have been doing for years now. The SRO Collaboratives have been the leaders in this fight to get mail delivery, secure mail delivery in SROs. It's been going on for years. They were instrumental in getting the mailbox ordinance enacted, which requires hotel owners to install individual mailboxes in all the hotels. Also, that led to a statewide law that requires the same in SROs throughout the state. And that's really important work that SROs collaboratives have been doing for the residents here in San Francisco and throughout the state. But the post office won't put the mail in the box. So that's where the Tenderloin Housing Clinic and the SRO Collaboratives, the Tenants Union, the Housing Rights Committee has joined along with the city attorney to bring this lawsuit, and now to bring the appeal after the trial court ruled in favor of the post office, saying that it was rational for the post office to not deliver mail to mailboxes in SROs in order to save money. So we think it's important that SROs be treated just like any other apartment in the city, and that's why we brought this appeal. So again, thank you so much for your support. It's really been instrumental in getting us this far, and hopefully we'll get a reversal in the Court of Appeal.
Steve Collier, our attorney for Tenderloin Housing, I think might have failed to introduce himself. Steve has done all the work with THC on this case. Really, would not be here without him. I'm Randy Shaw, director of the Tenderloin Housing Clinic, and before I bring up some of the tenant speakers, and Supervisor Jane Kim has been obviously a great SRO supporter since she took office. I just want to mention, I'm an expert in the case, and I was asked for about 3 hours by the U.S. Attorney why it wasn't sufficient to drop a bulk stack of mail in a locked box, why that wasn't just as good as individual mail delivery. And I thought, you know, there's the new NEMA housing over at 10th and Market, where they have saltwater pools, and 24-hour fitness. Imagine if the landlord told the tenants, oh, by the way, in addition to that, you're going to get your mail in a locked box with 700 others, and you can go through a stack. Do you think anyone would rent a place there? But that's what they think SRO tenants should do. And that's why we're here today. It's crazy, it's wrong, it's violation of protection. Hopefully the Ninth Circuit will agree with us. So Karen, if you want to introduce some of the tenants who are here to speak. Karen Drucker from the Collaborative.
My name is Karen Drucker. I'm a community organizer with the City SRO Collaborative. I'd like to introduce a fabulous organizer and tenant and resident of the Shriganish Hotel, Dan Jordan.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Dan Jordan. I also work at the Collaborative, but I'm a resident in an SRO hotel. And I need to tell you, getting our mail, we're at the mercy of the management and the resident or the street people outside, because half the time the mailman don't bring the mail all the way in. They open the gate and throw it in on the floor. Someone else comes in, grabs the mail, and you're out of luck. And when they do get the mail, you're at the mercy of the management to give you your mail. If they don't like you, you may not get your mail. We need to get this taken care of. We need the mailmen to do their jobs like they do for everybody else in the city, in fancy apartments and houses, and deliver the mail to the individual mailbox. We need to get this passed. It's been many, many years in the working, and we need to get something done, and we need it done now. And the only way we're going to do it is to stand up for our rights. Thank you.
I also want to introduce someone I'm sure most of you are already familiar with, Supervisor Jane Kim, who represents SROs in San Francisco. Would like to say a few words.
Good morning. It is really amazing to be here with Chinatown, the Tenderloin, the Mission, and the South of Market. And it is so appropriate that we are here today on Election Day, telling the Ninth Circuit that we deserve one of our most fundamental rights, which is privacy and access to our personal communications. This is just as basic a right as voting, which many of us, in fact all of us here, are going to be participating in today if you have not already. But if we want to get our absentee ballots in the mail, in our mailbox, we deserve the same rights that, as many of you have already talked about, that apartment building dwellers in other neighborhoods or in the same neighborhood as you are already getting. The Postal Operations Manual already says that we must deliver mail to each apartment dwelling unit. The problem was actually in San Francisco that we didn't require all of our SRO building property owners to have mailboxes in our buildings for the postal office to comply with that federal law. So in 2006, actually when I was an organizer at Chinatown Community Development Center, I remember coming to City Hall with many of you to demand that we at the city require and mandate that property owners offer the same basic service that other apartment buildings has, which is individual mailboxes for each of our tenants in our single room occupancy buildings, and we won. Now USPS, with no real valid reason, is actually is stating that this ordinance in and of itself is invalid. And I just want to thank all of our organizers, our tenants, and our lawyers that are here today. They're standing up and saying that that's not right, that this is a basic, fundamental First Amendment right that everyone in the city enjoys. And I just want to thank everyone for being here today. I'm so proud to stand with you. And regardless of the outcome today, our communities have won by standing together. And by the way, this denial of equal protection, this is to the vast majority of residents in Chinatown, in Tenderloin, in the Mission. So whatever this court says today, it is about all of our communities together. It is about equal protection for all of our neighborhoods, because this is the vast majority of residential units in these neighborhoods. Thank you very much.
Another tenant who
is from Chinatown, Harley Liu, and Angela of the Chinatown Chinatown Community Development Center will be translating for her.
我叫卡莉，我住喺 Chinatown 散房。I'm Polly, a resident in Chinatown SRO. 我住嗰度冇郵箱，我哋啲信就係擺喺嗰個樓梯口嗰度。We don't have mailboxes even in our building. All the mails were put at the bottom of our staircase. 如果我收唔到信，我有好多時我唔遺失晒，我都唔知我究竟收唔收到信。我有時啲貼紙寄過嚟，我都有時收唔到。I'm not sure whether I got my mail or not because I'm not certain it got delivered to me. 我希望我哋有一個郵箱係屬於我嘅。I want the mail service to our buildings. I want a mailbox that's mine. Thank you.
Thank you. And we are finally going to hear from Laura Meek, who is a Tenderloin Housing Clinic resident manager at the Edgeworth Hotel, which was not grandfathered into the mailbox delivery service through the Postal Service. So they will stand to benefit from a reversal of this case.
Woo, Laura! Oh gosh, the outcome today is amazing. I want to tell you that I get to, unfortunately, see every day the impact of the mail not being delivered properly into the mailboxes at our buildings. Our tenants are every day looking for their mail. Where's my mail? When is somebody going to deliver it into my box? The mail gets dropped off into a box that's at the front of the building, and it's a manager from another site has to come in and sort the mail and then put it into the boxes. This manager is a Monday through Friday staff person. So people at the building don't get their mail on Saturdays or Sundays. Well, Sundays usually because the next person would be coming on to the following day is when the mail would be delivered into their boxes. Excuse me. So the point is that the citizens and the tenants that live in SRO buildings deserve regular mail delivery. It is so important for them to be able to get their medications, to get their checks, to get their personal mail without having to worry about fraud or somebody stealing it. Yeah. Thank you. I really, really, really care for our tenants, and that we really have to understand the impact. The Court of Appeals needs to understand the impact of the mail not being delivered properly. So, thank you. I appreciate your time.
You know, I think we want to get into the courtroom now. So thank you all. If media have questions, you can come up and ask various people, but let's get into the courtroom and show the judges that we care about this issue. Thank you all.